All right, for more on this, let's welcome legal analyst Melusi Xulu. Melusi, thank you so much for your time today. As always, welcome. So let's first unpack the merits as well as submissions of the MK party in this matter, in the issue of basically, of course, the separation of powers between Parliament as well as the judiciary. And according to their legal representatives, a parliamentary decision in which the different democratically elected parties actually fielded their preferred candidates to the various portfolios cannot be ruled upon outside of House rules. So what is your interpretation of this saga?
Well, my understanding is that I think the basis of what they've been trying to do even before today is to say that Dr. John Hlope has a right to be a member of the parliament and he has a right to be part of the JSC, which is something that has parliamentary powers. But since that has been taken away from him, they are then saying that has an effect on the separation of powers. But obviously they then saying that him not being included as well in the upcoming interviews is an unconstitutional thing to be done. But more importantly, the fact that the composition of the members of the parliament will not be complete, that is an issue in itself which has not been properly resolved. That's why, Alicia, they've been asking that these interviews are postponed until this matter has been resolved in court.
Absolutely. Now, with that in mind, I mean, in your opinion, was the court in itself actually justified to interdict Dr. Hlope from being part of the JSC sittings? I mean, Melusi, first of all, a lot of people are saying the Western Cape Court itself, isn't it biased, acting against its former member on such an important ruling as well? I saw even some members of the EFF and other opposition parties saying this should not actually have been allowed.
Well, there is a school of thought, Alicia, that there has been a judicial overreach by the Western Cape Court in that interdict that was done. If you look at the Constitution, it basically does not have a particular section that says you cannot be a member of the Judicial Services Commission. There's no specific act. But what the Western Cape Court judgment stated was the Parliament or the Speaker was not aware that actually they have a discretion on how the members can be composed. So I think that is something that is an open-minded interpretation of the situation. But as I say, there's no specific section in the Constitution that says you cannot be a member of the JSC, because once you're a member of the Parliament, then you have a right constitutionally to be part of any portfolio that is given to you. But the court was saying specifically there is a discretion. So there is a school of thought that is saying that in itself is a judicial overreach. We shall see when the appeal is done what will happen to that. But it's quite an interesting development where one may say that possibly it's a development of a constitutional law. But we've seen instances where there are certain court judgments where the decision is made, but you have to, read in between the lines how it was made, which can be sometimes unfortunate.
And Melusi, just on that point, I mean, I know, of course, the DA, when they made their submissions, they said, of course, ethics were not actually applied in terms of making this decision to appoint Judge Hlope to, of course, the JSC. But then also to your point there, a serious concern now of precedents or the creation of certain laws to fit certain scenarios or individuals even has been raised, and especially if this will be the order of business relating to our constitution or the seemingly selective amendment thereof, Melusi. Are these valid concerns, you think?
It is valid concerns because, this is very interesting, Alicia, because in the beginning, Dr. Mandla John Hlope was very specific. He was saying, I'm no longer a judge. I've been impeached as a judge, so there's no need for you to call me a judge because I'm no longer a judge. Now I am Dr. Hlope, a member of parliament, and whatever I'm doing now is under the title of being a doctor and a member of parliament, based on the fact that he's a member of parliament through MK party. So
for him now to be judged because of the impeachment that happened, that is the interesting debate that is happening then. Is it proper for him to be part of the panel that chooses judges and the fact that he was impeached? But the MK and his representatives were saying, but he's no longer a judge, so now he's a member of parliament. So now what is being done is to say, is it proper for him to be a member of a parliament or a JSC when he was impeached as a judge? But the MK is saying, but he's no longer a judge. So those are the arguments that are being raised. But as I said, the Western Cape Court judgment was specific to say there is a discretion to be used about the member of a parliament. But as I said, it's not a specific section in the Constitution.
All right. As always, thank you so much for your input this afternoon.